Hey Stitchy friends, welcome to Lost in Stitches. You found my channel all about cross stitch and I have lots to share with you today. I haven't made a video since October. It's been a long time coming. So I just wanted to catch up with you guys today and here we go. Hi, welcome to Lost in Stitches. My name is Lisa, and if you're new here, welcome. Everybody is welcome here, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for hanging in there and waiting for me to come and post another video. It has been quite the ride since October. I'll get into more of it at the end and a life update because I know most of you are probably here just for the cross stitch. But it has been a lot. I went to Stitch North in October, and this is just a quick recap. So I went to Stitch North in October with my mom. Hi Mom, I love you. Hi Dad, I love you too. So I went to Stitch North, which was an amazing time with my mom in October. And then shortly after that, I went for a visit in Newfoundland for 3 weeks in the end of November. And came back just before my son's birthday on the 19th of December for Caden's birthday. Then, of course, there was Christmas, the New Year's rush. And yeah, so it's been okay. Health-wise, I know a lot of you have been emailing and asking if I'm okay. I so appreciate that. I just, it warms me just to know that there's so many people that are just so kind in this community, and I love all of you. Thank you so much for the concern and the love and the kindness. It really has lifted my spirits for the last couple of months here especially. I'll just give a quick glimpse into my health situation because I know a lot of people were wondering. In my last scans, the medicine that I was on actually stopped working. So it grew from basically not even there, like it was in my October scans. They couldn't even hardly see it anymore, which was just, we were all just so excited. And now that tamoxifen drug just stopped working on the estrogen blocker, and it grew, 2 spots grew to 2 centimeters each. So what that means for me is back on chemo, unfortunately. So they're trying a drug called capecitabine, and it's an oral chemo, so I don't need to go for the IV injections. It is just as potent, but it does apparently work pretty well. So I'm hoping that the side effects are not going to get too much worse than they already are, and yeah, we'll just see how it goes, right? I have another scan in May, and then, so that's basically the life update. I'm sure you can understand emotionally that was a lot to deal with, and very disappointing for me and my family. So, it's okay though. I'm tough and taking the treatments and feeling pretty good. On this chemo, I won't lose my hair again, so I get to keep growing my hair a little bit, so that's kind of nice. And yeah, we'll just hope for the best, right? We have a trip planned to go to Italy in April for 5 weeks. I'm so excited about that. I'm working with my oncologist to be able to continue my treatment from there. And yeah, it's been a lot, guys. So just bear with me. And again, like, I'll just talk a little bit more at the end and put in some pictures and stuff like I always do of our adventures. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So how has stitching been going? So October was pretty good for stitching. We did quite a bit leading up to Stitch North, and then I would say I did quite a bit in November, but I only had 2 projects with me when I went to Newfoundland. So for those 3 weeks, I just stitched on my Lighthouse and one other small one. I can't remember what it was. Excuse me, sorry. You're going to hear me clear my throat because the medicines affect they probably sound a little bit different, but they do affect my voice and my throat. So sorry, I do have coffee and I have a big thing of water, so hopefully it won't be too annoying for you guys. I'll just take a sip. So then when I came home after December, I didn't stitch for about a month, which was really weird for me, but I was just stressed and just couldn't get into it. So then again, I picked it up probably the middle of January, and I've been stitching like a fiend ever since. So it kind of came in little waves for me of what I needed to stay emotionally sound. Right? You know, that's the only way I can call it. So I did a few fully finishes. I have some framing of my past projects. I have a couple of new starts. I have 4 little exchange gifts that I'd like to share from Stitch North, and a couple of stitchy days and retreats that I've been at. I have a ton of whips to share with you. It'll be near a mini whip parade. I have probably maybe about 15 or so over here that I'm just not really stitching on this year. I've narrowed down my 36 whips that I have right now down to about 20 that I really want to work on this year. And as I've finished one of those, I'm going to bring in one of my older whips to work on. So that's working out pretty good, and it doesn't make it as overwhelming for me to have quite so many whips on the go. Okay, so I will start with the framing of the things that I got framed. So I may have to stand up for this. Sorry for the sound of the chair. I have framed my Quinto Acuto from Long Dog Samplers, and this is what it looks like. I chose a white frame with a gold fillet, and then this is actually a navy blue velvet mat. I am in love with it. And I put the museum glass on there. So that is Long Dog Samplers, Quinto Acuto, all framed up. And that hangs upstairs in my hallway, and I absolutely love it. I walk by it every single day, and it just brings me so much happiness. Like so much happiness. I have 4 more pictures sent off for framing, and I'll share those with you as soon as I get them back. They should be back on March the 7th. So in my next Flosstube, you should be able to see those. So this is another favorite of mine. It is the Strawberry Fields Forever from Blackbird. I'm sure lots of you have seen this. And I went with a cream frame and just this olive green matting. And that's stitched on a 32 count antique white Lugana. I really love this stitch. And I got the museum glass, so you know, you don't really get that. You can see my light there a little bit, but you don't really get a glare. You can hardly tell that there's glass on it. I love that. So that was my Blackbird, Strawberry Fields Forever. And then I also framed this one. This is called How Doth the Busy Little Bee by Modern Folk Embroidery. And this is stitched on 32 count spicy mustard from Fiber on a Whim. And I think while I was stitching this, I was having a really hard time figuring out what the name of this fabric was. And as I was going through, like, unkitting some of my projects and stuff, I found a tag for it. And I was like, oh, that's what it was. Yeah, so it's spicy mustard. And it's a little more yellow than you're seeing here. It kind of blows out in the light, but that's the stitching. And then it's probably more like that color if you, yeah. So This is another one for framing. It also hangs upstairs, and I absolutely love those. So I'm just going to take a break for 2 seconds and move those back to where they're supposed to be, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. So, yeah, you're probably wondering, like, where am I, right? I just thought about that I took some time over the winter to transform our spare bedroom in the basement. So you can see I have a nice big window here. The lighting is a little bit different down here, so I will work on that with my son, Caden. Hopefully he can give me a hand, and kind of get things lined up down here. But this is my new craft room, and this stitchy space has just brought me so much happiness. It's a place for me to really keep like all of my stitchy things, like things I take to retreat. It's just kept everything super organized, and I'm loving that. You can see here I just have like a whole bunch of smalls that I've displayed, and I have a bunch more up across here. The whole desk on that side has little smalls and cross stitch displayed. So it's just like a little center of happiness for me. I'm very, very, very happy down here. My wonderful husband, Paolo, did all of the painting for me. He put in this really beautiful, soft, peachy color and a cream, and we put down nice light wood floors, and I'm pretty spoiled and very happy. I'm loving it. So, yeah, so that's where I am, and like I say, I will work on the lighting. I think it's okay, but it's it's earlier in the morning here, so yeah, we'll see how this comes together. Oh, and it is March the 3rd today, and that's a very special day in our family because it is my mom's birthday. So happy birthday, Mom. I super, 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 super love you, and I wish I could be there to celebrate with you. We'll have to go out for a nice stitchy day somewhere when I come in May, at the end of May. So happy birthday to you, and yeah. So we'll move into whips because I've got quite a bit of stuff to talk about, and this will probably be a 2-hour video if I don't stop. So the first one, Summer Quaker. So this one has been languishing for me for a little bit. I decided to stitch Summer Quaker on 40 count piece of fabric from my friend Charlene at the Grateful Thread. So this is what I'm stitching it on. It's a bit more blue. Sorry about that. The camera glitched. Okay, it's a little bit more blue than it's showing here, but this is where I am. Hopefully you guys can see that up a little bit. Yep. So I'm actually really enjoying stitching on this again. I lost interest for quite some time. Started this over a year ago, and yeah, I don't know, it just took me a little bit to get back into it. I picked it up and I said, okay, well, I'll fill in a thread of, so I'll try to fold this over a little bit, a thread of blue here, like just to fill in the water, right? Because that is just a lot of, sorry, I keep getting little notifications, a lot of blue to fill in. So I think there's even a hanging thread here. Yep. So I was starting with a thread of blue, and then I would come down and do something in this border. So I had this entire, the outside edge of this Quaker stitched in, and it didn't meet up. It was off by one thread. So I had to pick all of that out, one thread over to on 40 count, which is not fun. But yeah, so I'm back to where the mistake was over here. And now I'm just going to have to stitch that again. But that's okay. I'm fine with it once I get the frogging over with. And then I don't mind stitching it again. But yeah, so that's where I am on Summer Quakers. Again, 40 count, one strand over 2 on Grateful Thread, hand-dyed fabric from Charlene. And it's from a pattern from Lila's studio. So that's where I am on that one. And again, like, I'm really enjoying that one. I went up and stitched in the Lighthouse and put in some more little pieces that, you know, kind of kept my interest in it a little bit. So There we go. Oh, I did have 2 finishes. Maybe I'll start there first. Sorry, that was a whip, but I'm jumping all over the place here. I'm a little rusty, guys, and it will get better. I'm sorry. So I did have a finish on this one. This one is, oh my gosh, it's called Bluebird. Heart and hand, I believe. If it's not, I'll put it on the screen here. But I stitched this on just a little piece of dirty porcelain, 32 count linen that I had from Roxy Floss Co. And this is stitched with a Valdani blue color. I'll put the number to the color down in the description box. It's with a Valdani pearl cotton. I love that. I got to get this finished into a little pillow. I'll be very, very happy with that one. I love it. So cute. So I have a little bit of finishing to do. The next one that I finished is Little Red Schoolhouse from Pansy Patchworks and Quilt something. Oh my gosh, I never get that name right, but you know what I mean. And this one again is on a 32 count dirty porcelain from Roxy Floss Co. again. I think the bird was a scrap from the side of this one. And this is with Fallow Red from Roxy Floss Co. as well. So I got this finished. Thank goodness. This took me way longer than it should have. Like way longer than it should have. I really struggled stitching on this fabric for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it was just the way my eyes were at the time. It's beautiful fabric, so I have more of it that I have other projects on that I love, but for some reason this one just took me forever. So as you'll see, I changed the date down here, so 1976. Totally dating myself now because that's the year that I was born. So I was born in 1976, and I put my initials down here, LG, which is Lisa Green, because I used to be a Green before I was married to Paolo, and now I'm Lisa Missoni. And this is for a genealogy project that I'm doing. So this will be my pillow in a tiered tray. I will pull it down if you just give me 2 seconds. I'll lift it down here so I can show you. I went to the antique mall and I found this tiered tray. So this one just had to come home with me for pillows. Like, there was no question. I loved it. I got it for $30. So I was very, very happy. And then I started doing a lot of research in January and February for my family tree, and just trying to find out who my great-grandmothers were, and just using Ancestry.ca and just a whole bunch of research on where it came from. And, so I've discovered my ancestors back to the 1400s in England. Like, they lived in England for 400 years, to about 18, well, even today, they're still there, right? But when they moved to Newfoundland in the beginning, it was about 1810 or so, around there, like the early 1800s. And that was 3 sides of my family came from England. The other one, I believe, comes from Ireland on the green side itself, but I haven't discovered that yet. So a little bit of history there on what I've been doing. So I have a couple of other little finishes that I'll show you because, sorry, I have so much stuff here, guys. Because what I'm going to do is stitch a little pillow for every single one of my great-grandmothers that I have discovered, and put their first name, initial, and last name, initial, maiden name, and then the year that they were born on these little pillows, and they're all going in that little tray. So this is like a longer project. I probably have 30 or 40 little pillows to make, right? But they're only small. So I have 3 done already. So I have this one here. Sorry. And I've put 2 of these as on the one fabric. So this is just one little pillow. It is from Blackbird Designs, and it's called The Winter is Past. And I'll show you where that is in the book. And I'll show you the thing again. It's In Friendship's Way. And it's just on the cover here. You can kind of see it here on the cover. They're not great pictures on some of these when they do the boxes, but that's where it is. That's where that pattern came from. It's In Friendship's Way in that book. And this is the stitching again. So this one is for my grandmother on my mom's side. So her last name was Hodder, so I'll put in TH down here for Teresa Hodder, and then the year that she was born over here. I think it was 21. I can't remember, but yeah, I have it all in the charts. So I'll do that, and then I'll finish that little pillow. The next one that I finished, this little one here, and excuse me, it's just a little motif. This one is from my grandmother Green. So this is from my dad's mom. And I will put HC for Hazel Cleo in there, and the year that she was born, which I think was also maybe 1921. I can't remember. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I have it all written down. So I'll be doing that one for my grandmother Green. And that came from, I'm going to try not to wreck my book here. I'll just bring it in from the side. There you go. That came from A Token of Love, from that sampler. You can see the little bird kind of up here, right? And that is in When the Leaves Fall. It's in that book. So that's where that one came from. And then, oh no, sorry. This one is going to be from my great-grandmother, Margaret Nolan. Sorry, I already put the initials on the other one. This one is from Margaret Nolan, from my great-grandmother when she was born. So I'll put her date of birth in there as well. This is the one called Autumn Sound. And this is for Hazel Cleo. Yeah, it is 1921. See, memory's still there. So that's the one that I stitched for my Nan Green but I put her maiden name Cleo. Yeah, so that is just so, so, so pretty. That one is called Autumn Sound. And that one is in the Winds of Autumn book. That's that pin keep drum. It's amazing how the colors look different. I use the called for colors. And I'll hold it up here over the pattern so you guys can kind of compare. Just look how different those colors look. And it's all the called for. Like, amazing, right? It's just so much deeper. But I love how that turned out. So that's the 3 that I have done for that bowl, and then the big one for me on the top here. I may try to put in my kids' initials in here somewhere, just so that they're both, Caden and Abby are both in the bowl as well, or I may just do their own separate little pillows, but we'll see. So that's where I am on my genealogy project. I am so happy with doing this. It's just been so much fun to do the research, and we only had it back probably to a couple of different great grandparents or so it's really nice to kind of go back and just see, where exactly you came from, right? All right, so let's continue on. Okay, now again we're back to whips, so I'll move that one over here because I'm going to talk about that a little more. All right, so this one is another Long Dog sampler. This is called Quiltz with a Z, Quiltz. This is Quiltz. It is almost done. I'm on the last band, and that dog is on the bottom, like by the last border. So this one is getting there. I have to do the back stitching yet for the roofs and reins and things like that on the horses. But I'll do a little kind of flyby here for you. So this one is Quiltz. This is with all the called for colors. It's all DMC. And it's on 32 count antique white Lugana. Yeah, so it's really nice. My mom and I are kind of doing a little quasi stitch along for this one. She actually started this pattern as well, and she's doing it on a really light piece of blue, like pale blue fabric, and apparently, I haven't seen pictures yet. Send me some pictures, Mom. But apparently it's gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, and then we'll finish this off together. I stitched this one because it actually reminded me of my mom, because this one down here, it has 2 trees with the 3 quilts hanging between the 2 trees. So I really like that. Yeah. So that is Quiltz. And what I added in this time was basically this tree. I did a little bit on the tree there. Kind of struggling with this one a little bit because of this border. I've said that before. I just get so not motivated. But I'm down to the quilts now, so I'm actually at the point where I'm starting the line here, and that was my favorite part of it. So I'm hoping to be able to pull that out and just do lots and lots of stitching on that over the next month or so. All right, so my next whip that I worked on, this one is called Bonded by the Rain. I'll put a picture of it here. And this one is, oh my gosh, I have a couple of parked threads here. Sorry about that. But this one is very, very confetti heavy, like super confetti heavy. I think I've probably mentioned this before in some of my stitching. The colors are glorious. Like, I absolutely love the colors. Love them. It's just taken some time. And I'm now doing just like cross country. So I start like typewriter method. I'm just kind of picking the last one in the diagonal that's not finished and then just stitching out as far as I can go with that thread. For a while on this one, I was doing just pure diagonals, and that was just taking forever with the confetti. So if there is a lot of confetti, be okay maybe with carrying on the back. I am. Like, I need to keep my sanity. And just do cross country, and that makes the confetti so much easier to deal with. So, but yeah, that one is coming along. It comes down to about here, so I'm not anywhere close yet. But this one is stitched on an 18 count Rustico Aida. I do all of my full coverage on 18 count, and it's with all the called for DMC. It's a max coloreds version, which also contributes to the amount of confetti. But, you know, what can you do? It's going to be beautiful when it's done. So, the next whip that I have is here. This one is called Fruits of Plenty. You guys have seen this one lots. It's been really languishing. It is in my 2025 pile to work on. I got down to these things here. I think you guys might maybe remember, but I had this almost in, this thing in, and like this one, and it was off, and I had to pick it all out, and then now I'm restitching it. So the fire went out for this, for me. So I don't know. I really want to get back to it. I really need to put in a couple of days, get this thing back in, get it matching, and then I'll be probably good to go again. But it's just been one of those things where I'm like, oh God, I just don't want to do that. Like so many other beautiful things. So anyway, I love the colors in this. I'm stitching it with 4 colors of DMC instead of 2. And I'm doing some of the reverse stitching on these vines and things here. So it does cut down quite a bit on the number of stitches in this project. So that's where I am on my Fruits of Plenty. Like I said, I was working on that one circle for now. No big progress on that one. This one is a joy to stitch on. It's something very different for me. It's a pattern from my bobbin. So I've been chatting back and forth with Laura from I Stitch Birds. Hi Laura. Oh, I just love your last Flosstubes. I just want to say go and watch Laura at I Stitch Birds and give her some love and a thumbs up. She just lost her beautiful little kitty Maggie, and I think life's been throwing them some lemons. So just go and help her make some lemonade, okay? Go over there and give her a like and a subscribe and watch her videos. She's just a beautiful human being and so authentic. I just love Laura. So anyway, hi Laura. So her and I have been chatting about patterns on my bobbin, especially closer in January. We were chatting about them, and she showed me some of the different designers that she likes to design with, and this is one of the patterns that I picked from our chat. This is stitched on a piece of 32 count Lugana from Hand Dye by Rolanda. So if you've not yet discovered Rolanda's fabric, she's out of Ontario, and highly recommend. I absolutely love her fabrics and order them lots. So but this is called the Sparrow. I'll put the link for the information for the pattern below. I cannot remember the designer off the top of my head. I'm really sorry. But this is called the Sparrow. He's wearing a pair of binoculars, and he's got a paper hat, and he's just so cute. I would say he's about 85% done. I'm almost there. Tons and tons of confetti in this little guy, but definitely worth it. I can't wait to get this one finished and framed. He'll fit into a 5x7 frame, and I'll do the framing myself. So just very, very cute. Love, love, love that one. Okay, next whip that I had, I told you this is almost a mini whip braid. The next whip that I had is Princess Elliana. So I have made some significant progress on her. I'll bring it up a little bit closer. I may have to stand up here so you guys can see. There we go. And this is where I am on Elliana. So this is stitched on the 32 count Peaceful Purple, I believe is the name of it. It's the called for fabric. And it's all with the called for DMCs. I'm just loving the colors in this. I'm stitching the skin 1/1, which has been interesting. It's been fun. I thought it was going to be very, very difficult. Dreaded doing it actually. But now I really like it. I like the look of it, and I really like how this one is coming together. So this continues my obsession with Mirabilia, and I can't wait to get to the beading for this one. So that is Princess Elliana Mirabilia. And sorry, even with the new meds, even just doing this much, I get out of breath. Like, that's so hard. Mm-hmm. All right, so bear with me, people. All right, so this one, this one's called The New Normal from Long Dog Sampler. And I had somebody ask in October if I could stitch on this one a little bit and show it again, because it had kind of languished a bit. So this one is Long Dog Sampler, called The New Normal. And these colors never quite show up the right way. They're way more green than this. But that's where I am. And what I did, I got stalled on this one because where I'm changing the colors, in the pattern, this is all just one color, like one symbol. So I had to really sit down and figure out where I was going to divide off these triangles and get them stitched, do an outline, and then continue on. So what I did this, since you guys have seen it last, I believe, is finish off the swan over here. I put in my initials, which is way more difficult than you would think for reverse stitching in that type of script. and I finished off the triangle over here. So I really want to get this one out again. This is stitched in 3 different colors of sulky thread, 12 weight, and I'll put those in the description box as well for the actual colors. If you like this, you can go to the Sulky website. I've mentioned this before, and they actually have really true pictures of the colors that is in this. Whereas it's just not capturing it really well right now. I think if I move back, maybe, kind of. That's a little better, but it's more like a bright green, like a bright jade green than this. Anyway, this is on 20 count, like I said, and yeah, I really like it. Yep, super fun. Can't wait to get this one done. So that is my new normal. Oh, I think I might have mentioned this before. Do you see this big hoop mark? Oh my lord. So this will be fine. It has not, I managed to wash and get it out of where it is in the actual stitching. And this will be framed like almost right up to this border. So I'm not super concerned about that. I'll just make sure that you can't see it within the first 5 or 6 stitches here. But what I did, I used one of, let me see if I have one here. No, it's one of they're white on the inside, and then it has this fake wood plastic on the outside, and it just snaps on over. Now there must be 10 of those floating around here for sure. And I've bought them all from a very nice quilting store that's here. So while I was down at Michael's, I picked up an oval one because I was like, okay, if I'm doing something that's kind of an odd shape, it might be nice to have that. And when I came home, I put it on here, or here, as you can see when I was doing that corner, and it left a huge mark from the plastic. It marked my fabric, and it has been really hard to get out. So what I would say is if you're buying a new frame, any frame, but put it onto a piece of fabric first that's not actually your stitching. Just a scrap piece of fabric, put it on and off a couple of times and just see if it leaves a mark, because this one certainly did, as you can see. I'm not happy about that, but yeah, I should have just stuck with the ones that I knew at the quilting store, and they're better quality, and you know, sometimes it's just not worth, you know, just going for maybe a cheaper option on something that didn't work out for me there. So, okay, moving along, I have, oops, this one is called Soak to Canoe from Ink Circles. I am almost done. I'm at like 86%. And this is where I am right now. So I'll stand up again. So this line over here, this line right here is the edge. That's where I've reached the other edge. So this one is very close to being done. It's on a 32 count antique white Lugana, and it's stitched with an 8 weight pearl cotton. And I'll put the number of the floss below. So this is all just one color. You can see the beautiful variegation in here. It's so pretty with greens and blues and teals. Love it. So that one is close to done. I'm putting in a few strands every day. The last time I picked it up, I finished this big motif here, and there's another little square that goes in here, so I'll do that next, and then I'll continue moving along to get the corners finished out, I think. Yep, that'll feel good. So that is the second one that I've done like that. I've also done, you can see it right there. Let's see, ooh, God, this is hard. Right there. It's kind of covered up a little bit, but that is the let me take it down. Circuit core. And this is what they look like framed up. They're just so beautiful. So that's one of my other finishes. So this will be a matching set to go with this one, and hopefully framed about the same way. We shall see. Sorry about that. So those ones are getting there. This one's pretty close. Get a huge pile of whips here. Oh my goodness. So this one was my birthday start, and this is the picture here of what it's going to look like when it's done. There we go. It's this one here. So right now I'm stitching this house in the middle. So I started this in July, 1st of August. And let's see, my birthday is July 31st, and I'm moving along on it. It's they're pretty big to get done in 1 month if you're stitching other things, but I love the way that the colors are coming out. I love it. So this is all the called for threads in the chart, with the exception of the white stitches here for the house. So what I like to do, if I have to stitch in white, I hate the way my white stitches look. This won't focus, sorry about that. I hate the way my white stitches look with 2 strands if I'm stitching on 32. So if I have white to stitch on 32 count, I use 12 weight Valdani pearl cotton. Works like a dream. Stitches look beautiful. Oops. There we go. So I'm just working in here on this house right now. I'm having a hard time with this today, guys. Sorry. Yeah. So you can see that. And my goal is to have this one here finished by the end of March. So I've been working on it the last couple of days. I put in that house basically in the last couple of days, and the vines, so it's doable. And then the next one I'm really looking forward to, it's got the little verse that says, "I cannot count my day complete until needle thread and fabric meet," which I think is just wonderful. and definitely sums me up. So, all right. What's this stitched on? Sorry, 32 count. This is a beautiful piece of fabric again from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. It's called Cafe au Lait. 32 count fabric. Love that. It's got a little like greenish hue to it. In the modeling, it's very, very pretty. My next one is my garden club. So I started this for my birthday as well. I want to do one a month. I missed some stitching in January and I just didn't stitch. So I've got 4 done. I'm going to try to get at least 1 or 2 done for, one second, I have the little pattern here. I just have to find it. I have so much stuff here. This is the next one that will go in. So it's called Butterfly Garden. So that one will be going in on the bottom underneath here. This one here. This is so pretty. This is also another piece of hand-dyed fabric from Rolanda. It's 32 count and using all of the called for colors for these patterns. So I'll just come in close to let you guys see. The colors are beautiful in this. I love it. And here. So I stitched in Home Sweet Home. I'm trying not to dip this in my coffee. I stitched in Home Sweet Home here in 1/1 because it should have been like Home Sweet Kansas something was on it because that's where they were from. But I wanted to put in like Home Sweet Newfoundland, but it wouldn't have worked because it was too tight there. There wasn't enough space. So I just put in Home Sweet Home. Yeah, so that's my garden club. That's how that's coming along. And I will be starting the butterfly one here right away. It's all kitted up and ready to go. Definitely be starting that one. My next one is my Lighthouse from Stitches So Beautiful. It will look like this when it's finished. And I'm loving this. So this was also a birthday start. I had 3 significant birthday starts this last year. And this is where I am. This one is a full coverage piece. And I've got all of the black stitched in. I did color completion on the black 310, the 939, and the 3371, which gave me a significant amount of structure. So now I can just pick it up and stitch wherever I want. I really am enjoying this. I can't wait to pull this out every day. So what I'm doing, I'm stitching about between 300 and 400 stitches on this every day. And it's my nighttime stitching because it's on 18 count, 2 strands of DMC. It's just super easy to follow. The pattern is great. It's in Pattern Keeper. So I will just bring it in a little bit closer so you guys can see the detail here. That stained glass piece is just gorgeous. And the stained glass continues all the way across. But the lighthouse comes in like stones and brick, kind of like that house down there. And then more stained glass on the side. I still have this little bit of black up here to fill in, but I'm just using that as like, zoom stitching and stuff like that. And it has all the rocks on the bottom. This beautiful little sailboat is coming in. And down here in the corner, I also have just a little bit. All of this is 939. That's what's left of the 939. So I'm just using that as fill-in as well when I'm in the car or whatever. But this one has been a complete joy to stitch. I'm loving it. And the goal is if I keep going with the 300 to between 300 and 400 every day, then I will have that finished for my birthday in July again. So I'll be able to get it framed. I'm hoping to do maybe a little bit more, maybe between 400 and 500 every day. And then I potentially could have it done for the Stitch and Stash retreat in the end of June. So we'll see about that. And yeah, it would be really nice just to finish that off with everybody there. So, and okay, so that one is called Stained Glass Lighthouse, by the way, by Stitches So Beautiful, and I'll link that below as well. Okay, so I had one more start. It's a biggie. So I have started the Shores of Hawker Hollow. And along with my, I just absolutely love this pattern. I've loved it since the first time I saw it. And I want to do it as a tribute to my great-grandfathers, because I'm doing the pillows for the great-grandmothers in that tier. A lot of my great-grandfathers were fishermen that came over from England and were then fishermen in Newfoundland in the early 1700s, 1800s, and onwards, right, even, to recent. So what I want to do is put in some of their initials in here. And I found a very cool story about one of my third great-grandfather. His name was George R. Mitchell. And I want to maybe at least get his name in here for sure. If not, I'm thinking about putting my great-grandmother Green's and my grandfather Green's name in here, but I want to tribute to him somewhere, maybe with the ship, because this is a little side note, but it's an interesting story. So my great-grandfather George Mitchell, on my dad's side, he was born in England, and when he was 14, he joined the Royal Navy in England, and he fought in the Napoleonic Wars in 1804 to 1806, I believe it was. Anyway, they went to the Battle of Trafalgar, and he was on the HMS Africa during that as a boy, they called it, right? Because he was underage, he was only 14. And the ship that he was on was actually quite small, and it went up against one of the bigger ships that was fighting in this battle, and they held off that ship for 40 minutes until one of their bigger ships came in from the Royal Navy and actually helped to win that battle. So it was pretty interesting. It was pretty interesting to discover some of that history. And then in 1809, he moved on to become an officer or whatever on one of the other ships called the HMS Minotaur. Now, the Minotaur went over to fight off the coast of Holland, in Dutch waters, and it got shipwrecked. It actually went aground, and it was about 400 people or so on this, and only 30 people survived. And I found my great-grandfather's name as a record of when they pulled in the lifeboat. They took a record of who was on the lifeboat, and he made it onto the lifeboat. And that's why I'm here today. I mean, why the rest of my family is still here is that he wasn't, fortunately he wasn't one of the people who sadly perished from that shipwreck. So they ran aground on the Hakes, just off the coast, off the Dutch coast, and there's a whole story about then going back to England, and it was really neat to kind of discover that. So there's lots of little stories like that along the way about the ocean and people being in the war. So I thought this was a nice tribute to great-grandfathers in my lineage. Now, long story, back to the stitching part of this. I started this when I was out at a Wabanma retreat with Jean and all the girls. Hi, girls. I started this on a piece of fabric like this. It's called Light the Way Come What May, was the first square. So now if you look at the picture here, because I believe the picture is of the NPI silks, probably. Oh my gosh, we're going to do this. Let's switch hands. There we go. Light the Way Come What May. So, and this is the way it turned out. You could hardly see the white. I didn't like that the rocks were not as blue as this one, right? The water was not going to be as blue. It was going to be like a green color. So what I did, I stopped and put it away because after stitching this much for a whole weekend, I was quite disappointed, but I let that go. and then I'm going to finish it off and maybe make it into just a little pillow or something. But then I came home, I made a conversion, and I restarted it on a darker fabric, which is Vintage Country Mocha. And I think that this looks way better for colors for me, because I really like blue, and I like the brighter colors. So I pumped up the red to a 115 variegated. I switched out a bunch of blues in here. I've done a complete color conversion for this to make it look like the NPI silks. And I can share that with you. I have it all written down on one card, but it's in my project bag upstairs. Sorry about that. But yeah, if you can see the difference between the called for DMC and the conversion, it's quite different. If you look at these side by side, right? So I was much happier with the way the white was showing up on this darker fabric, and it was worth the restart for me. It's sad to kind of have to put away so much stitching, but yeah, so that was a new start for me. And I'm very happy I'm about to start the next block. Again, I would like to do one of these a month, if possible. Yeah. So, that's where I'm on the shores of Halfgren Hollow. And, let's see, one more whip. This one is my Mill Hill kit. And, oh, this is going to need something behind it. One second. Maybe this. There we go. This is my Mill Hill kit. It's called Canoe Ride. This one is almost done. The stitching is probably, there's a little bit more. I would obviously have to do the canoe, and there's a little bit of fill in up here. But the most of what's left is the beads. Finish off the border down there. But I would say at least 85% of the stitching is done. So I've got my little fish needle minder left in here with my needle. This one is from Karen DeRoche. This is Rocky Mountain Needle Minders. I got a lot of my needle minders from her, and you can find her on Facebook. So, hi Karen. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, very cute. And, I also get a lot of my needle minders from Jen from Cute as a Button Needle Minders. I don't think she ships outside of Canada, but if you're looking for a Canadian one, this is like one of her, it's here, you can't really see that well. There we go. Yeah, they're just super cute. She's got gems, she's got all kinds of needle minders. So that's, again, Cute as a Button Needle Minders, and you can also find her on Facebook. Okay, so that was all of the whips that I've been working on, and finishes and all the starts. What I have to show you now is some things that I have received through exchanges and just kind gifts from Stitch North. So and at a retreat that I went to in Wabamun. So this one made me cry. It's so beautiful. It is just so beautiful, and it comes from a very beautiful stitcher. This is from, well, hang on, let's see, maybe I'll just put these behind for now so you can actually see the stitching. This one is from a stitcher, Tanya. Hi Tanya, it was so nice to meet you at Stitch North. Her work is impeccable, like, it's gorgeous. The finishing is beautiful. I just love it. She crocheted these little border to go around the edge, and she's just got beautiful finishing. She's Crafty Fox _TR at on Instagram if you're interested in seeing more of her stitching. But it just came with such a lovely, heartfelt story and a big hug, and this is in my craft room. It sits over here on the shelf, and Tanya, I have to say, it just gives me so much joy to see that every day. Yeah, I love it. So that one, and the name of that pattern, I had to write these things down, was Autumn in the City from mybobbin.com, and it's by Alisa, Alisa, was the designer. All right, so from another true friend. Hi, Karen from Stitching Owl from Ontario. Karen lives in London, Ontario. And this one is from Pigeon Coop Designs. This is the one that she made me. And look at that beading border. Like, oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. That fox. And I think it's called Forest Fox by Pigeon Coop Designs. Yeah, absolutely in love with this. Thank you so much, Karen, for making this for me. It's just a joy. And this past Christmas, we pulled out. She sent me a smile in the mail. Right, it's an ornament with 2 swans on it, and she sent me that as a Christmas ornament. So that also went on our tree. This year, Paolo pulled it out from our Christmas decorations and put it on, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is from your stitchy friend." And yeah, it was just such a nice memory. Such a nice memory to have that of you and sharing Christmas with us. So thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. If you're not watching Karen, you should. You go over and the Stitching Owl and have a look at her channel. She's just lovely. This is another one that I received as an exchange gift. I'll just give it a little spin. And this one was for a Valentine's exchange that we did out at Wabamun. So it's from Jody's. Hi, Jody. Thank you so much. It's Be My Valentine. All you need is love. Special delivery. The finishing is so nice on this. I have to try something like this to get into the 3-dimensional cubes and mattress finishing, and I've been watching some tutorials, so we'll see. Maybe there'll be something new new to do. This one is called Love Cube. It's on Etsy, and it's Living on the Rainbow, if you're interested in getting the pattern for that. And for my Stitch North exchange, I received one from Margaret from California. Hi, Margaret. This one is beautiful. It's Pumpkin Affair by October House Fiber Arts. Look at this finishing. It's beautiful. The stitching is gorgeous. Like, Margaret, you just did such a great job on this. I love it. I absolutely love it. And she finished it with a nice little stand on the back and her, like, a little bit of her her name and Stitch North Table 9. Yeah, beautiful. Love that. So those are the few things that I have received from exchanges and Happy Mail and all of that in the last few months. I have been watching a lot of Flosstube. I still have kept up with most of your Flosstubes. I need to do better at leaving comments. But I did find a new one, Mountain Mama Stitcher. I believe her name is Abby, so sorry if I got that wrong, but Mountain Mama Stitcher for sure. Go over and check out her channel. She's just a delight to watch, and I think you would actually really, really like her. I've been keeping up with Laura at I Stitch Birds, of course, and Lola D Stitches Laura, and Brendan Laura. There's lots of Lauras. So Brendan the Serial Starter. Just Keep Stitching, of course, every Sunday night. And yeah, there's just been lots. I've watched lots and lots of, I've kept up with all of you. Sarah Stitchy Spot. It's so nice to see everything that you guys have been working on. Yeah, so I guess that might just wrap it all up. Leave me a comment below and, just to catch up and see what you guys have been working on. What have you been stitching while you're watching this one? And yeah, I just want to say thanks for coming back and returning. And if you liked what you see, like, subscribe, do all the things that we do here on our Flosstube videos. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.